guys, it is me, Dr. Brooks. Welcome to my channel. Listen, I just want to tell you guys how staying the course is so important. And I want to talk about my lessons from my 2024 regrets. So, Happy New Year to you guys. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I want to talk about my regrets of 2024. And so while 2024 was a year of a lot of accomplishments for me, I also allowed some things to fall by the wayside. What are some of those things? My podcast. I have a podcast called Off Balance, and I just let it fall by the wayside in 2024. Despite it being successful, I went through 2 seasons of my podcast, and I was, picking up momentum, and I was getting downloads from different countries, and I just did not record any episodes in 2024. And so I allowed the momentum of my podcast to fall by the wayside. Another thing that I allowed to fall was my blog. I also have a blog called Off Balance, and I would only post once a week. And so I just find it interesting that I did not keep the consistency with my blog. And then the final thing is my YouTube channel. My goal for 2024 was to really grow my YouTube channel and just to build a community here on YouTube. And unfortunately, I did not do that. So while I did not focus on my podcast, my blog, or my YouTube channel, I did, however, I returned to school and I pursued a master's degree in digital marketing and advertising. And I was able to finish that degree in 2024. I was also I went to TikTok, I think the third or fourth week of July in 2024. And by August 10th, 15th time frame, I was monetized. So I was able to go on TikTok and become monetized in about 2 or 3 weeks. My platform went from 300 to now I'm at 12.1K. And so that was something that was really, good for me. I also transitioned my daughter to college. And so while I had some successes, I also had some things that I could have been a better steward over. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about stewardship and how we can keep our momentum. Like how can we ensure that as we are, setting our goals and that we're striving to achieve those goals, how can we make sure that we keep the momentum? Because sometimes we can lose the momentum, and losing momentum doesn't occur all the time when things are not going well. It can actually occur when you are on a mountaintop, when you are actually doing good. And sometimes it can simply be because I think we take it for granted. And so that's what I want to talk about. Again, let's talk about my podcast. My podcast is Off Balance. It's where faith, family, and business collide. And I am all about teaching people that you can have it all. You don't have to choose. And I teach people how to do that in an effective way, a way that is going to ensure that you have a work life balance. And I had really good episodes on my podcast. I would either record alone or I would have people come on and I would interview them. And I think the content was very good. Like I said, I had got up to about 700 downloads. People were listening in different countries, and I just stopped. And it wasn't even a lot for me to record the episode, edit the episodes, and upload the episodes. I think I just got in my own way. Sometimes we can truly self sabotage ourselves and not recognize when we don't properly plan. What do I mean by that? I was releasing an episode of my podcast once a week. And I had got where I was batch recording. And then I noticed that if I did not batch record, I was procrastinating when it came to really recording and editing and uploading. And so I say this as a warning to you. If you are doing something and you truly like it, you have to be a good steward of it, which means you have to plan it out, which means you have to set aside time to actually do it. And so many of you know I am a coach. And I think when it came to my podcast, I allowed my coaching to get in the way. Although coaching is the way that I make money, coaching is a way that I'm able to help people. My podcast could be that same. My podcast could be and revenue also. And so I think I could have been a better steward of my podcast. And so again, you can be great at multiple things, and that's what I preach. And here I am, I'm preaching to you guys that you can have it all, but yet I did not plan to have it all. And so in 2025, the one thing that I will work on is my podcast. I enjoy, recording the podcast. I enjoy interviewing people, and I enjoy the feedback that I was receiving from my podcast. And so my plan moving forward is I will begin to edit the episodes that I already have recorded, and I will get those uploaded and scheduled. What I noticed for myself is I work better when I have a schedule and a plan. So if you are not a person that plans, I encourage you to plan. I encourage you to have a schedule, and I encourage you to adhere to it. Don't allow anything to get in the way of your schedule, because if you have a schedule, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be more committed to whatever that thing is. And so, again, my first regret in 2024 was not recording my podcast. The second regret was my blog. Again, my blog helped a lot of people. It only takes a couple of minutes to write a blog, and I just did not do it. And so in 2025, I am going to do a better job of writing my blog. And then the last thing was my YouTube channel. I really want to grow my YouTube channel. I really want to grow a community because I feel like I have a lot of value to bring. But unfortunately for me, I did not stick through it. I did not record any content. I did not upload any content. I did not try to build my channel. And so this year I'm going to put more focus on YouTube and just building a community here on this platform to teach people how they can have it all, faith, family, and business. Although they can come together and collide, it could be a beautiful thing. And so I am going to do more on my channel this year. So make sure you guys subscribe. I am so excited because I know that if I can just get on this platform and I can just record and have conversations with people and be open and honest about my life and about the things that I've experienced, I think it's going to help a lot of people. And so, again, those are my top 3 regrets from 2024. Although I accomplished great things, I also let some things fall by the wayside. And so, I'm not going to blame myself. Instead, I am going to allow these to be opportunities for me to learn. What do I mean by that? It means that I am going to focus on the lessons behind me allowing things to fall by the wayside. So, what I've learned about myself is that I'm a planner and I must plan. Because if I do not plan, I am not going to be successful. And that is just proven facts. That if I look over my life and I look at times that I did not plan, I was not as successful as I could be. The next thing that I'm learning from this is that consistency. You have to be consistent. And I think sometimes when we look at our achievements, I think we're okay with those. And so sometimes it allows us to um, kind of downplay the things that we really wanted to accomplish that we didn't, simply because we've achieved some things. I told you guys, I went back to school, I got a master's degree. I told you guys that I was able to monetize on TikTok, and I was able to transition my daughter to college. While all of those things were great, I still had time in my day to focus on my podcast, to focus on my blog, and to focus on YouTube. So I wasn't a good steward of my time. So the lessons that I learned is that I can be a better steward of my time because I have 24 hours in a day. And so there was no reason why I couldn't have had it all in 2024. And so, what my regrets have taught me is I'm just going to stay consistent and I'm going to stay focused. And so, if you find yourself in the situation that I was in 2024, where you allowed some things to fall by the wayside, I want to encourage you to stay consistent and I want to encourage you to stay focused. The only thing that you have to do is have a plan. Time management is going to be key. And then we have to take accountability and we have to make sure that we're setting realistic goals. All the goals that I set for myself in 2024 were more than attainable. The only reason why I did not attain them is because I got in my own way. That's it. That's all. I got in my own way. And I don't want you to get in your own way. I want you to literally take your time and know that this is not a speed race. This is a journey. On your journey, you may experience up and downs. You may experience times where you're tired, but I just want to encourage you to keep going. And that's how you're going to be able to overcome any obstacles. The only way you can overcome obstacles is with momentum. So you have to keep going, and you can't allow any challenges to stop you. And so these are the tips that I'm going to leave with you. I want you to set clear priorities. In 2025, my priorities are clear. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly how I'm going to do it. And I also want you to self reflect. I want you to self reflect often, and then you can kind of correct yourself if you need to. In 2024, if I would have did more self reflection, I could have identified that I was not on track as it related to my podcast, my blog, and YouTube. And then also, you want to surround yourself with supportive people. I have so many supportive people in my life, but I did not communicate to them all of my goals for 2024. And so when they saw me achieving things, they were like, yeah, she's on it. She's doing all that she needs to do. But what they failed to realize was I was not all the way on it. So I just encourage you to be transparent, to be vulnerable with those around you and those that love you and those whom you consider mentor, coaches, and friends. Just be honest. And then I just want you to trust yourself. I want you to know that you're more than capable of accomplishing and achieving anything that you set your mind to. You can do it. And so, again, I just want to recap. Listen, in 2024, I experienced so many wins and I celebrated them, but I also learned from my regrets. And so I am so excited to see more of you guys here on YouTube. I'm excited to share my podcast with you, and I'm excited to encourage you through my blog. And so I just want you to approach your own regrets with grace and determination, the same way that I have approached mine with grace and determination, because I know that although I could have done better in 2024, it wasn't a failure. It wasn't a failure. We have to give ourselves grace, and we have to be determined to finish the journey regardless of how we start. And so I just want to encourage you to not lose your momentum. Listen, I am a big believer of Christ, and I am a woman of faith. And I just want to leave you guys with Galatians 6 and 9. And it says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. And so I know that everything that I'm doing, I am doing for the Lord, because my ultimate goal is to draw people to Him. And the way that I can do that is by showing love, by showing kindness, and by showing that there is something bigger than us. And in order for me to do that, I have to be consistent with my platform. I have to be consistent with my gifts. And so I just want to encourage you guys to continue to push forward. I want to encourage you that you can do it. So I want you guys to leave in the comments. Let me know your own lessons from 2024. What are some things that you could have done better, and how are you going to do them better in 2025? So again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned, because I want to tell you guys about my $7,500 mistake when I launched my online boutique, because I do not want that to happen to you. So if you are an entrepreneur, be sure you like this channel and stay tuned, because I have some good things in store for you guys in 2025.